right, guys. All right. Let's get to it. We are working on the Minecraft sword. Super excited. It was kind of a super fun lesson just to go in, knock out a nice little easy object in Maya in our first video. And in this video, we're going to go in and we're going to texture it. All right, so here we are. We're back in Maya now. And as we go in, we've now got our sword tilted 45 degrees, which is absolutely perfect because that's the way that the texture is in that we get from Minecraft. Now I do apologize because the texture that we have is not the absolute greatest quality texture in the entire world. It's a little fuzzy on the edges. If you were working for the actual company, your file would be absolutely clean, crisp, and basically perfect for you. But without any further ado, we have got this thing modeled. Let's go in and let's actually texture it now. The really cool thing about texturing it is we're going to go in and the same file that we put onto our object in the background, our polygon plane, it's our image reference, is going to be the same exact texture that we use on the actual sword itself. So I'm going to go ahead and middle mouse click and drag it onto the sword. And almost immediately, if you'll notice, that thing came out absolutely gorgeous. Okay, that does not normally happen. Wow, that looks amazing. Now, just in case yours did not come out as perfect as mine did, we're going to kind of go through the process to make it absolutely just beautiful anyway. And so this is how we do it step by step by step. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this, click on my sword, and I want to go into UV, and I'm going to go to a planar map. Now, a planar map is interesting because the way that we've done things so far, and let me just kind of rewind here real quick, because normally what our map looks like is it looks like this. And you can see how my texture does not look perfect at all any longer. It's close-ish, but it's just not there. All right. So under UV, we're going to go back and let's talk about planar mapping. So planar mapping has a number of things that it does. So a planar map works in much the same way that like in geometry, we have a plane. A plane has no thickness. It has left and right, up and down, and that's basically it. It's just a flat surface. So imagine, if you will, taking like a camera and taking a photo of our object and that flat surface that we're looking at. Now, when we take a photo of our object like that, we're going to get everything, front side, back side, and all of these edges here as well. So we get the entire object as if it's been flattened down to a two-dimensional surface. Now, the way that we shoot this thing is we have three different directions that we can do it. We can shoot it Y, which is up and down. We don't want to do that because I don't want to capture these edges. We can shoot it X, which is this direction right here. We would get all of these edges, and that wouldn't make any sense either. Or we can shoot it Z, and we can get a hold of basically a picture of the front of our object, which is exactly what we want. Now, you in the future may not remember, what is it? X, Y, and Z. That's okay, because if you look right here in our Maya window, we have all of our directions right here in the bottom corner on what we call the dongle. So Y is up and down, it's in green. X is basically this direction. And then Z is shooting from this direction. So I'm going to set exactly which direction we're going to be shooting from. I'm going to be shooting from Z, and I'm going to click project. And I want to make sure that I'm in object mode here on this. We're going to do that again because I was in component mode. I apologize. I'm going to go into my option box. I want to make sure that it's still set on Z, which it is. I'm going to go ahead and click project. And as I project it, you'll notice that it puts that texture on there almost flawlessly. I'm going to go into my UV editor just to double check. And so this is my object as it's laying over the top of the material. If I rewind and basically put it back to where it was, we can go in at any point in time now and just nip and tuck and make sure that this thing fits easily inside of the area that it should. For example, These 2 points here could come up just a little bit so that they're definitely in texture. And it is, by the way, it's completely and totally okay for us to move our UVs around and get things uneven. Honestly, Maya doesn't care where these UVs are at. It has absolutely no bearing on the three-dimensional model at all. So we can go in, you can see this whole row here is kind of off. It is way too high. So I'm going to grab a hold of all of those. We'll just pull those down. Okay, that looks a lot better. We can grab a hold of those. Well, I'm going to tuck those. Well, actually, that looks really good because that's a beautifully clean edge there. And like this one here is horrifically off. It is so far off, it's not even funny. Let's go ahead and push that over a little bit. Now it's inside the texture here. This one here could be pushed over just a little bit. The top of it looks pretty good. The bottom, not as much. And we could do that to this one here as well. Let's pull that a little bit more into the texture. This one's not so bad, but I'm just going to kind of nip it in a little bit anyway. That one's fine. This one could come over just a teeny tiny touch. Very good. And once again, these lines do not need to be straight at all. Legitimately, we don't care. All we care about is that the texture falls exactly where it needs to fall on the object. And so just like that, I'm almost there. Almost there. Our texture is now, should be perfect. I can click off of it. We can scroll around. I don't see any like little white edges on here. I don't see any little missing areas on there. Our texture looks amazing. And so guess what? Bada boom, bada bing, ladies and gentlemen, students of all ages, this model is completely and totally finished for us. To get it ready for the video game, I would probably go in and delete that. And then to get this thing finished up, I'm going to get it named correctly. So I'm going to call this sword. Perfect. And I'm going to delete my history, freeze my transformations. All of that information that was right over here is extra stuff that our video game engine would have to pay attention to all the time. And we do not need to give it any extra information that it doesn't need. And the reason why is because it just creates lag in the game. So we're just going to clean it up and make sure that everything is perfect. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope you enjoyed making a little Minecraft sword. It's simple, quick, and easy. You can go in and load different textures onto this puppy and build other weapons from the game or tools from the game. And it's absolutely just a lot of fun to do. Hope you enjoyed this series, and we will see you in the next one.